welcome back to the third game of day 4 of Season 8 of StarLadder Star Series, and we've got ourselves a game between SSD, or Super Strong Dinosaurs, and they will be going up against VirtusPro on the Radiant side, who are playing with 2 stand-ins today, so that it will be interesting to see, though they will have a slight advantage server-wise, but we'll see how that pans out. With me are 2 people. One is the person that you will not hear, you will not see, but you will see what he does, which is our statsman, Nahaz. You can follow him at Nahaz Dota on Twitter, and of course my co-caster, who you can find at Vickermond as on Twitter, and of course that's also his name, so welcome back, Vickermond.
Good to be back, Shiver. I think it's just one stand-in. Like, JOTM has to use the stand-in tag because he wasn't on their roster at the beginning of the season, but he is their new full-time player, I think.
Okay, cool.
They do have Yamaha standing in for Illidan, because Illidan has no power or something, but this should be okay. Again, both these players are relatively new to the roster, so it's not like it would be that different either way.
Yeah, we'll see how they will go up against SSD and what kind of heroes they pick up for them. As,
SSD are a very mysterious team, I feel like.
They are.
Nobody quite knows where to rate them.
I know, like sometimes they're super strong, pun intended, and otherwise just not so much.
Sometimes they're extinct.
Yes, there we go. That fits. So, just to quickly run over the scores, because VirtusPro actually hasn't had any games thus far in Star Series. This is their first game this season, so we'll see if they will move to the front of the rankings or to the back, because the back is the place where people with no wins are, and the front is people with wins. And for SSD, well, they already have made it to the front. They are ranked 6th right now, with 2 games played, 1 lost and 1 won. So we'll see.
Who did they lose to?
They lost against...
They beat Empire.
Yeah, but they were able to beat the team... They lost to the team of Power Rangers.
Ooh, okay. Tough loss.
Yep.
Yeah, SSD, I mean, part of the problem with a league like this for SSD is that most matches are going to be played on either Europe East or at best Lux, and they do have 2 players that are US West, I believe. So, very, very bad paying both for Peter Pandam and for Snaking. So it's a multinational team. It's kind of like Speed Gaming, where it's partially Euro, partially US, but the players are all very talented. It's sort of like a leftovers team. Like PBD and Zai are both from Stay Free, which a bit disbanded. Snaking was on Dignitas, obviously. Arise was on Kaipi like 2.0, and Come With Me was on Kaipi 3.0. So it's a bit of a mixed team. They're all very talented. It's really, really tough to say. Like, they have a lot of potential. But VP obviously still, despite how much trouble they've been having, are very star-studded. They could definitely do a lot.
Yeah, and I'm kind of worried for like the type of heroes that SSD will be limited to because of the ping issues potentially being there. For example, a hero like Puck, fairly ping dependent. You can't really, you know.
But it's Arise. Arise plays mid, right? Not Snaking. Yes. So it's okay, because Arise is going to have a good ping.
True, that will make a big difference, actually. That's good.
The tough things to play are going to be stuff like ping-dependent supports. Like, I know Peter Pandam really loves playing. He was one of the first people to really force that support Alchemist, which is now standard, which of course has been banned this time. But Alchemist is a somewhat lag-sensitive hero. Not like Windrunner. Windrunner is very, very lag-sensitive, but still.
And Venomancer, Gales.
Yeah, Veno, definitely. But he was banned as well, so...
We have a lot of supports banned out, actually, with the Venomancer and the Lich and the Visage banned out. Both teams do pick up a support in the first picking phase, so very strong, just very smart. Just, you know, pick one up to make sure that they at least have a support with a disable, with the Rubik and a Crystal Main being there. So I very much like that, as VirtusPro actually bans out the Alchemist and the Razor. Razor, of course, is up against the OD, so we're going to expect to be seeing that one mid. But Timbersaw is actually quite okay against him. Well, maybe not. Actually, me.
It's not the worst matchup, it's not the best. Timber should be, if they do decide to run the Timber mid, it shouldn't be too fatal. The main issue is, depending on the Crystal Maiden and her rotations, if Timber doesn't level his chain first, he might end up in a lot of situations where OD can just prison him, and coming out of the prison, he won't be in range to chain a tree to get out, so Crystal Maiden just lands an easy Frostbite and he's dead. Just straight up 1v1, it's not that bad for Timber, but he's very, very vulnerable to ganks.
Yeah, that is very true. We've got ourselves SSD looking for their next target. This is Life Sealer. It's a strong one, it's a decent one, and of course already has that built-in BKB, which is considered a common counter up against the OD, just item-wise, so that's good for SSD. Oh, hey, I haven't seen that one in a while, actually. It's been ignored so often, but Abaddon.
Yep.
We still have a Weaver in the pool, so that might be one of the heroes that VirtusPro would like to pick
Also
up.
Viper.
Yeah. I would have liked to see 2 dual lanes actually coming out of VP right now.
Oh yeah, once Abaddon comes out, it's almost certainly going to be duels. Like, this is one of the heroes that Sigma rode to the playoffs in MLG. He's a hero who requires you to draft in a more specific way than you otherwise would. But if you do go that way, Abaddon can be backbreaking. He's very, very annoying to play against. For instance, SSD's current only real disable is Telekinesis, which is on a 22-second cooldown. And your Telekinesis can be completely spoiled with a good timed Aphotic Shield, which can just completely ruin the teamfight. Just completely screw you up. And if they, for instance, try to gank the OD and Abaddon just TPs over and puts a shield on him, suddenly OD can probably turn that fight around. So yep. I think Abaddon's a smart pick here. We'll have to see how SSD react. Their lineup is good. I mean, Lifestealer, Timbersaw, these are good heroes. Rubik obviously has a lot of spells this game that he can steal, so...
Yeah, it really depends on what they decide to put mid. That will be having a big impact on how they're going to play that game.
Mm-hmm. Razor's already gone, and that's the one really strong one. There's still, like... OD just has so few actual counters. Like, Lone Druid is okay, but we saw in that one game, like, with Dendi on Lone Druid, like, sometimes Lone Druid loses. Magnus?
Like, he is not... Like, I was thinking Lone Druid, Viper perhaps, even though, you know, as you pointed out, is not the greatest one against him. But also Kunkka would have been better than the Magnus, I think.
Kunkka is less mana dependent. The problem with Magnus is that to last hit he uses Shockwave, and after 2 Astral Imprisonments, he no longer has the mana to Shockwave more than once at a time. So, it's... I mean, the thing is, they don't have to necessarily even put the Magnus mid, but we'll see how it goes. Think about Lifestealer mid. We've seen that sometimes. He can level. He can't get last hits, really, but he can level, at least.
That's gonna be the most important thing. Viper picked up by VirtusPro. You mentioned that one already. Abaddon Viper aggressive, or sorry, just dual lane on the suicide lane.
It's really annoying to play against. It's also Viper here is a lot smarter than the Weaver, I feel, because Viper, it's a little less. You need less farm to counter the Lifestealer. As Weaver, it's like a race where if the Weaver isn't doing well enough, especially if he goes for Lincolns, Lifestealer can outpace him. With Viper, Ags and then push Viper strike button.
Well, they could even still go for Viper, for Weaver rather, which is now banned out. But
that's true.
on the safe lane with the Crystal lane, basically anything is like they can put anything there. I feel they've got a complete free reign.
Mm-hmm. And they basically forced the Weaver ban too, because now that they have the Viper, the Weaver no longer is no longer in such a panic situation to race the Lifestealer, so they could have absolutely drafted him, as you mentioned. So, I don't know, I think this VP lineup is pretty scary, and so far I don't see that much from SSD. Like, they can't even answer the OD right now.
How do you feel about Doom?
For SSD?
No, for VirtusPro, either, actually. Because I feel like
it would be
SSD
huge.
already got
Actually,
that
for
course.
VP, they could definitely go Doom. It would be greedy, but it would work really well. For SSD, 4 melee heroes. Let's hope Magnus lands a lot of RPs, I guess.
10 seconds
No pressure.
Remaining.
No pressure. I don't know. I think Doom would be a better pick for VP. I honestly don't know what I'd get for SSD. It's got to be some sort of... I mean, it has to be a support, right? Okay. I think Enigma's solid.
Or secondary support, rather. Jungle Enigma.
Yeah.
Wow,
this is pretty smart. It's almost the pick that they've been forced into. Like, now at least they have this upside that they can just win fights straight up as long as they land their ults. But it's going to be tricky.
Yeah, because, I mean, Arise doesn't have any ping issues, but Enigma, depending on who plays him, will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's PPD, he's going to have to play through... I mean, you can. It's not like ping is this insuperable barrier. It's just like, it's like you're playing through in like a vat of maple syrup, right? Like everything's slower than you're used to.
Yeah. And black holes, for example, could be right on the edge or right, like, missed, so...
Yep, for sure.
Whoa! I was not expecting that one. But VirtusPro is the
Poseidon.
team that actually picks that, together with Poseidon, indeed.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
I feel like they took a lineup that was just perfectly solid and fine and added a little bit of spice, but it's also really risky. I mean, the silence could just win fights. That AoE silence, if it hits Lifestealer, Magnus, Enigma, like, bye, GG, go next.
Yeah, that silence is gonna be the biggest thing for the draw, I think. They could have picked up other heroes for silence, fair enough.
Yeah, like Death Prophet?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing her, but
Should be stronger, actually, but it's okay.
Yeah, well... We're gonna see how the Drow Ranger works, and Drow Ranger actually on a stand-in player here. So, well, let's see what kind of first impression he makes, or at least, no, not really first impression because we have seen.
We've seen Yamaha. Yeah, plays like a really good. He used to play Farming Alchemist a lot. He was good on it. I can't remember which teams he played on, but he's definitely been in StarLadder for since the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like both teams could have options. Like, it's not like one team has a completely inferior draft, and it's really hard to say with the Drow Ranger. Like, she's one of the weakest laning heroes. Like, early laning, she has this ability to Frost Arrow, but it's really hard to outlast it. Okay, they're gonna ask for a remake, I guess.
Yep.
Because it's gonna be ping. SSD drafted a lineup that's dependent on hitting ults, so they really need a good draw of servers.
Yeah. No doubt about it. So that's gonna be one thing that we're gonna fix right now. One thing I'm actually happy about is that Drow Ranger does not have the set.
Oh, the Nico set?
I don't know what the name is. The cat set. Or the one with the short hairs. I don't like that one either.
I think all the Drow sets are pretty bad in general.
Yeah.
There's like one that's the Forest Ranger or something. Wait, this is the wrong game.
Power Ranger sitting in here?
This is not the right game. Is why. Oh no!
I just joined the game. That was an awkward one. Did we just leave a game that wasn't?
Okay, no, it's wait. What the hell? What? Where is Zior? Is in the completely wrong room.
Now VirtusPro joins us as well. So
this is a mess. This is a mess.
This is a mess. But at least
because Power Rangers are definitely AFK. Like, they're not at their computers here.
True. I'm just gonna check if there was anything said to us on the thing. And apparently Power Rangers versus 4FC will start before this one ends. So
wait, what?
We won't be able to cast Power Rangers versus 4FC.
Ooh, that's not good.
That's not good at all. Unless we want to wait for that match and skip this one.
No.
No.
I mean, I love me some Power Rangers, but no.
No, I agree.
Oh, the room is up. It's the other room.
Ah, there we go. Happy times. Good. I just will poke Nahaz. No. Oh yeah, he's already there. Never mind. But yeah, that was all that I got so far.
So you don't like the Cat Ranger?
I don't like the Cat Ranger. I know a lot of people there was a lot of complaint about it.
Yeah, it's had a pretty vituperative reaction on the internet for sure.
Yeah, but then it was the most sold set anyways.
Exactly. That's the thing. Well, first of all, some people are being dumb and speculating on it. They're like, "Oh, it's going to get removed, so I'm going to take it because it'll be the next Cowboy Ursa." Earth to people, it's not going to be the next Cowboy Ursa. That will never happen again.
Yeah, that's going to be something that Valve will make sure of, I think.
Yeah, and secondly, it's the kind of set where it's going to draw some really vocal complaints, but it's also going to draw a lot of people quietly buying it.
Yep, there's no such thing as negative publicism. How do you say that? Is that how you say that?
Publicity, yeah.
Publicity. All publicity is publicity, no matter if it's good or bad. So we've got a bit of an all pick going on here, but it will be fairly soon, and hopefully for SSD, the service will be more in their favor this time. And hopefully everybody knows how to press Alt-Enter. But it doesn't seem like it. And there might still be a rehost, because apparently the co-caster of Beyond Summit didn't make it in.
Grim.
Yep.
The Benwu.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yikes indeed. Though happy everybody of our team made it in. Phew. We are kind of behind schedule, though. I mean, we're actually 50 minutes behind schedule right now. That's why Power Rangers versus 4FC will go right now.
So grim, gamers. Are we actually remaking?
I don't know. I don't see the chat, and nobody is I don't know. Depends on the StarLadder. And normally they're not really too worried about people making it in or not.
For casters, yeah.
For casters, yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they just say, you know what, you go into Power Rangers versus 4FC, we're not going to remake.
Yeah, it's Velot's call, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Looks like, yep. Rest in peace, Merlini Dota.
Go play. And go play.
Let's see how first units go. Oh, we gave up first blood. I think it's remake time. Gotta get Ben Wu in.
Yep. We already see snaking scouted out here. Let's take a look at who's playing what. Just go over that real quick. As for VirtusPro, they will be on the dire side for this game. Radiant, rather. Yeah. Jotam or Medved will be playing the Abaddon. He'll be
30 seconds
on the Suicide lane. He'll be joined by Light of Heaven, who'll be playing the Viper. He went for Race Band first and is having only one set of tango, so he's really putting a lot of trust into Jotam's healing powers. In the mid lane, we've got ourselves G. God kill them all. God kill them all, could be also. But he's playing the OD, will be on the mid lane, got pulled a couple of tangos and picked up an old talisman first, and the last dual lane will be Yamaha, the stand-in. Playing the Drow Ranger, also got pulled quite a bit. Also has to start for the race band, so we can buy that at the side shop. And Arsart, the Crystal Maiden, will be the last one here for the dual lane.
And looking towards super strong dinosaurs, it's going to be supporting will be Peter Pandam on the Rubik, just got the DD rune. In his lane, up top is Snaking on the Lifestealer. In the middle will be Arise on this Magnus. We'll see how he does in this lane. It might be a pretty tough time. You can see he actually hasn't gone Shockwave first because he knows how difficult it's going to be to consistently Shockwave. So he's actually gone Empower first, which typically you only go against melee heroes, but it's just the extra damage is what he wants. And then Come With Me will be on this Enigma. We'll see if he... this is smart because
Light
he's
of Heaven
on
might be in some trouble here, but the double damage rune,
wow.
that's going to be first blood right there. Jotam didn't make it in time. No shield coming off right there. And he just gets forced away. Look at the damage on the Rubik.
Not a great start. And Nahaz pointed out that Viper actually has not that great of a record against Lifestealer. And it's not that Viper is bad against Lifestealer per se, it's just that Lifestealer is a really good hero and Viper is a pretty mediocre hero. So like, yes you have a Viper who lanes pretty well, and yes he's pretty good against Lifestealer, but you still have Viper, and he's still not that good. So far they already have a kill on him. Meanwhile Arise is just, he might actually end up needing to, no he doesn't need to skewer, but still, he's already chewed through his healing self. And Zai is on the offlane as Timbersaw.
Yeah, he did manage to buy a bottle, by the way, Arise, so that's making him a bit more stable here in this mid lane. That will help him out a lot, but yeah, he has a lot of trouble here. His only concern is getting experience. I think every last hit that he gets is one that's welcome. It's one that's he should be happy about.
Yeah, even with the first blood, I mean, you can already see that the lanes are pretty decent for VP. At the very least, Drow should have no trouble, at least for now. The lane is really pushed, so Zai will be leveling really well. And Viper has struggled so far. Light of Heaven, only 2 for 0.
Yeah, he's still level 1 as well, now level 2, but so far with that first blood on the board.
Yeah, they really needed Abaddon to be there earlier. That was not good.
Not good at all. You should have stick with him. I mean, there's such a short range on that shield. Should always be close to your the one you're protecting in that case. I wouldn't really call him a carry at this point. And actually, it looks like Yamaha is just perfectly fine by himself. That orb walking ability just is able to harass Timbersaw out of the lane quite heavily. And I'm already fearing, like, when he reaches level 6, then...
Yamaha?
Yeah. I don't think Zai can be on the lane anymore when that happens.
It depends. If he gets silenced, certainly, because if he silences Zai, he might even be able to kill him. We might see a fairly unorthodox, like maybe even the 3rd rank of reactive from Zai. I don't know. We'll have to take a look, but he might go super defensive. If he gets 3 ranks of reactive, I don't think Drow can solo him.
That's true.
But on the flip side, he does no damage, which is Timbersaw is a damage dealer.
Yep. And he might be able to burst Drow down, especially if Crystal Maiden is so far away. Crystal Maiden, who's been jungling, now level 3. Still got a smoke in his inventory, so perhaps he wants to rotate and kill someone. Zai is trying to find him, but no such luck. Oh, now he sees him.
Come with me. Wow, this is early, but this is the thing with Enigma now, is he does get 3 stuns.
Yep, Malphite
even at level
coming
1.
out. Abaddon, he cannot do a shield on himself just yet, and he might actually drop. The shield is still there, but doesn't matter. He drops. And a Light of Heaven forced away. That's going to be the 2nd kill of the game. 2nd one to go to SSD. In the meantime, Malphite up on Light of Heaven. We do have Zai maybe in some trouble. Gets silenced up. Gets slowed down as well but doesn't
He's
die.
okay, I think.
Radiant structures
Yeah.
are fortified.
Light of Heaven.
But that was a really smart Enigma rotation, and that just showcases the power of... It's an under-regarded buff, but it really is great. The fact that you can get those 3 Malefice stuns at any rank means that ganks like that are so much easier to pull off. It used to be on Enigma that really, until you got rank 3 Malefice, forget it, you have to stay in the jungle. And now it's optional.
Yeah, 4 minutes for the first tower. That's a nice gold boost, and I'm actually thinking more about the Magnus for that one than anything else, because he kind of needs that. He's got 12, 13 last hits right now. OD actually sitting on 23. Of course, he's out last hitting him, but Arise is not doing as bad as I thought he would be. I have to say, like, it's impressive.
The boots first allows him to sort of just go in and out, and that's what he's doing. He only has 2 intelligence steals on him right now, and not like 3 or 4. And I think he's making... I like the Empower first. I think that helped him a lot to get those first few critical hits and get that boots. I mean, he's not going to win this lane, but he's not getting trashed either. I'm surprised how low Drow's last hits are as well. I feel like she could have a few more. Light of Heaven in trouble again.
Yeah, getting slowed already. The open wounds are still there for snaking if he wants to. PPD doesn't have another telekinesis, but I don't think he needs it.
He's waiting for the shield.
Ooh, the heal's there. The shield not there. Yeah.
I thought that he'd use it right after the shield. I'm surprised that he didn't. They probably could have gotten the kill.
Well, the shield was still there. It was only a heal.
Arise is in trouble.
Oh, he gets ganked. The Frostbite coming out as well. And looks like one more hit, and that would be a kill. Crystal Maiden, actually, the one with the last hit. The double damage rune of G. Helping out a lot, though.
Didn't have the mana to skewer, unfortunately.
Well, I guess that's something that you're going to have to get used to if you're Magnus up against OD mid. No mana for anything at that point. 80 mana, so you're only going to have like 40 mana?
Well, it was...
maximum?
Right. It was very tricky because he could have bottled for the mana, but you have to time it so that you get the entire bottle charge. It was just a really tough situation for Arise. Again, he's not... Considering the matchup that his team has drafted for him, he's doing really well.
Yep, and he's about level 6. There you go. He's got an RP. And he doesn't have any stacks right now of Astral Imprisonment, so I wouldn't be against him just rotating right now and trying to make something happen with this RP, or maybe even try to make it up on G. Look at his health. No bottle.
But RP does no damage now. It's very hard for Magnus to solo kill. And now with even 1 Astral, he no longer has the mana for RP plus spell.
That's such a shame.
Yeah, OD is a really dumb hero.
Yeah, well, it looks like they have some hatred towards him as well, because they rotate with both the PPD Rubik as the Azai, as Light of Heaven gets forced away from the lane again there.
Wow, look how deep they're going for this.
Yeah, they won't be able to find him either.
Yeah, without Chakra, IDK.
Well, G has got a self brought towards him. He'll
Smart,
still be a
smart
target, though.
delivery.
I think they might still make it happen, or maybe they'll find Crystal Maiden instead. Yeah, that will be a good one. But, yeah, Timber Chain to the one tree that was still standing there. The slow is still there. In comes G. That's going to be our start just fine. Looking for Frostbite. Finds it up on the Rubik. In comes G. Crystal Maiden still getting chased down by Zai. PPD.
He keeps missing his spells,
around.
though. He missed Whirling Death. Okay, gank over.
Gank over, and PPD able to juke successfully. And we also have got ourselves a snaking somewhere in the mix. But
nice
they won't
movement
be able
from
to make
our
anything.
side. Like, really legit to dodge all those spells, and smart to go for the tier 1 boots so early just to get away from Timbersaw like that.
Yeah, I agree. That was, I mean, it wasn't on the farm Timbersaw on their level, still level 5, no Chakram, which would have definitely granted him a kill. Oh, Arise, doesn't have anything, no mana, no health. Samantis Eclipse gets dropped, and he gets dropped with it. OD with his first kill, second assist, of course, of the game.
Yeah. VP are very much stabilizing and getting farm across the heroes that need it. Even Light of Heaven has started to farm a little bit. Wow, weird build from him. 2-2, 0. Usually take at least a rank in corrosive these days, but it's fine. Midas up for Come With Me, though.
Yeah, and he's already been involved in a kill. He's got himself a soul ring. He's got himself some boots. He might not be as farmed as he would be if he was actually continuously in the jungle, but getting that first blood had quite a big of an impact, or second blood I should say, because the first blood of course was with the Rubik, but getting that kill on top, getting his rotation in, and he smokes up together with the Rubik, and looking for top once again. They're really trying to shut down Light of Heaven here.
They are. But luckily, what they've also been doing is out leveling a little bit, because they had the dual lanes, because they got the early kills, so they're okay to spend a little bit of time rotating, because generally in levels they're doing better. Timbersaw 6, everybody's 6 or 7 except for Rubik. And Light of Heaven is level 4.
Open wounds. In comes a black hole up on 2. Light of Heaven will go down.
Really
Yellen will go down with him though. There we go. PPD coming in from the outside. Double kill for snaking. I love this.
Yeah. Great use of Black Hole. Come With Me is playing very, very well this game.
knowing that the Abaddon had to come forward because of the shield, such short range,
Radiant's top
put them in
tower is
perfect
under
range of the
attack.
black hole, both of them.
And just being able to, because Abaddon has such low cooldowns, that short disable just to prevent him from flipping a fight is so critical. Like, I don't know. I think SSD are playing this exactly correctly. And the Drow still, like, what Yamaha still sort of feels like he needs to farm. He's got Boots of Speed, Helm of the Dominator, which currently has a ranged creep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I just don't know about this Drow pick. Like, it has not validated itself yet.
It's just... She needs a lot. She really does. I think for now, her main
She needs
impact,
levels.
Yeah, her main impact right now is just the silence.
Yeah, I almost think she's somebody who should benefit from Midas Gaming really hard, because at level 11, she's like one of the strongest heroes in the game, but you have to hit 11.
Yep. She is getting solo experience right now, I guess. I mean, she's level 8. Why are my last hits so awkward? There we go. Or
I don't
my
know.
ranking. There we go. But
Oh,
yeah,
there's a shortcut that changes a keyboard shortcut to change the order.
I'll probably spam that at some point. I don't know why I
Yeah.
spam my keyboard.
I forget which button it is, though. I'm hitting every button right now to try to find out.
I don't know. Well, I fixed it by clicking on it.
Nice. Good
The
stuff.
true way of gaming. Just clicking the button.
Ah, man. There's so much pressure being generated. And the thing is, Light of Heaven, this Viper is really struggling. He's level 5. He's the same level as Abaddon and 1 level behind Crystal Maiden. It's not even Midas Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, it's really sad because he is the one that's supposed to be a bit more active mid-game so that G can farm up a bit more. Because G went for a Hand of Midas. So he is not the one to get ahead early on. Oh, Timbersaw finds himself a Crystal Maiden. Frostbite is there though. The silence still there, but the Timbersaw is already working. The Timber Chain rather. Jottam is going to try to help kill off the Timbersaw, but he's going to try to hookshot to the other side. But G is waiting for him. Should something happen. Yeah.
Smart. Good rotation from G. He was like, hi! I'm waiting on the low ground.
Yep. Come to me if you want to feed.
Nice. Nice.
Finding Nemo reference. Did you get it?
It's not a Finding Nemo reference.
Come with me if you want to live. Come to me if you want to feed.
We can talk about it later, Shiver.
But this was so close. And I mean, Come With Me wasn't even there, so it wasn't a reference for him.
It's more that it's Finding Nemo. It's in Finding Nemo. It's a reference to Terminator. Like it's like a dual level of reference.
Oh, well, you know, Terminator. Yay.
It's okay. No, it's just that happens to me too. Like movies that I haven't seen, like that are referenced, because animated movies are usually like full of refs. Oh yeah.
Yep.
You don't remember that quote from Terminator?
I just don't remember. Like, I'll be back. You know, that's the one that's
yes,
unmistakable.
that is a pretty big one.
Yeah. But other than that, it's like, you know, it wasn't really my type of movie. I guess so it doesn't stick around
Fair
that
enough.
often.
Finding Nemo, more of your type of movie.
Yeah.
Me too, actually. Finding Nemo is a great film.
Finding
Great
Nemo
film.
was an awesome movie.
It really is. It's my favorite Pixar movie, I think. I don't know if it's technically the best, but it's my favorite.
I also often have Dora references. Like, Dora is the blue fish, right?
Dory. Dora is an explorer.
Yeah.
Shiver.
But I thought, like, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And that's the reference I often make as well. Just keep running, you know?
Right.
But yeah. Okay. Game. Awesome.
Yes.
So we've got
Ancient farming. Dual ancient
farming.
farming with Viper and Drow. Exciting stuff.
Very exciting stuff,
Radiant's
but
bottom
at least they're
tower
getting
is under
something because they
attack.
need more because they're behind in gold. That's of course due to the 2 towers down on the side of VirtusPro. Experience-wise, it's so very even though, but it looks like SSD they've got more of a active game plan. Like they're really taking map control in terms of towers and such. While VirtusPro is really not taking all that much, and it looks like
I mean,
it's
VP
on
were
bottom as
just
well.
like. Yeah, they control so little of the map that they were like, let's just farm these Ancients so that Viper can actually get his ultimate, so he can do something in this game. Because this Viper is in extreme danger of just being irrelevant.
Yeah, Astral Imprisonment.
Radiant's bottom
Tower still goes
has
down, but
fallen.
Astral Imprisonment on the rise, making sure that he is lacking some kind of mana. But he has mana boots, so he now can, even with 1 Astral Imprisonment, he can still go for his RP, which is, again, he's almost got a Blink Dagger as well. Actually, Arise is doing really well, considering his matchup. Just pointing
He really
out
is.
again.
The fact that he has Blink now, I mean, this is good timing for Magnus Blink, and he has no kills or assists. Like, he's 0-2-0, and yet he has Blink Arcane Boots. If they were hoping to shut him down, like, it didn't work.
Radiant's bottom tower
Of course,
is under
3
attack.
towers do help, but I mean, that's all
Dire's top
part of the
tower
plan,
is
right?
under
They were anticipating that one, as Well, maybe they can find someone right here. There's a lot of rotation. They've just taken down the tier 1 bottom, and it looks like they just want to go for the last tier 1 standing. They just want to get that map control, and I think that once they have that map control, VirtusPro, they need so much farm on quite a few of their heroes that it's going to be really tough for VirtusPro to extend the game to the point where they actually have that.
Really nice escape from Drow up top, I gotta say, though. Really well-timed silence onto the Magnus, otherwise it would have been trivial to kill her. And Peter Pandom's down mid, yep.
It's gonna be a Rubik dead. Malefice still going up a lot.
They gotta be careful about this.
Doesn't matter. The tower still stands though. I mean, this is a tower that VirtusPro needs to defend.
Yeah. They gotta, the good news is for VP is that OD is doing amazing, right? Like, he's got minus 4 staff already. He's in really good shape and he's hard to kill because even if he eats out open wounds, he just 4 staffs himself away. And now power treads as well. So VP aren't like that far behind just because OD and Drow are farming effectively. And if Drow lands silence at the right time, they can win a fight off of that. Of course, if the silence isn't effective, the fight becomes really difficult because you need to silence at least Lifestealer and Magnus.
Yeah. No pressure, Yamaha.
Radiant's
pressure.
bottom tower is
Well,
under
he is
attack.
at least finally getting something. He's got that
Dire's
level
top
11, and
tower
he can
is
look at this
under
tower
attack.
drop. He can do this real easy. If there's
Dire's
nobody stopping him,
structures
towers
are
will
fortified.
die very fast. It looks like there will be people coming though. Enigma has got a blink dagger, could be going for it. Malefice,
Dire's top tower
silence
has
is still there, and
fallen.
in comes a blink. Arise, shockwave. He can go for an RP if he wants to, but I
Doesn't
guess
need
he's
it.
waiting for the TP. Skewer,
Yep.
never mind. That's gonna be a Drow dead. Yeah.
Solid. Yeah, with 2 people it's a lot easier because you draw out the silence, and that was smart. They blinked the Enigma forward while keeping the Magnus out of vision. So Drow thought it was a solo gank. You get her to pop the silence. Like, it was just outsmarting basically.
Yep. And that's, I mean, the tower down, fair enough. It was the first tower down. It was really nice to get, but losing the Drow for it, I guess slightly worth it, but still kind of scary to give that up. They smoke up though, VirtusPro.
Yeah.
They have that mechanism, they want to put it to use, they want to try and make SSD rotate, or at least come to the rescue of G, who's going to get ganked. The Rage is there, the open ones as well, 4 step forward, Timber Chain doesn't reach a tree. As for imprisonment, and this could be bad news for SSD.
Yeah.
Can VirtusPro find someone though? Light of Heaven coming in from the
Lifestealer
side.
has to go inside Timber. Timber has to let
There we
Lifestealer in
go.
him.
You mean like that? Nice Timber Chain away,
Exactly
this one does
that.
latch. Zai
Now
is safe.
that is a Finding Nemo because he's hopping in his like weird like mouth armor if he wants to live.
Jump in my mouth if you want to live. Hop in my mouth.
Exactly.
Does he actually say hop?
Tower is under attack.
It's either hop or
Dire's
jump.
bottom
I
tower
forget.
is under attack.
Well,
He certainly doesn't say. Never mind. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. That was a good escape, honestly. That could have gone really badly for them. But you see the impact of the fast 4 staff for OD in that fight.
that's for sure. 1100 gold on his inventory again. As, well, we had a bit of people standing behind the tier 1 tower bottom of SSD with Lifestealer still inside the Timber Saw. But they're not going to be able to make a fight happen with that, or at least not with VirtusPro around, because they've all rotated. We do see them smoking up though. They want to use that infest to the best of their abilities, and they're going to go in. The drawing is there. They want to go mid. They still want to take that tier 1 tower down.
Yeah, to extend their early game advantage that SSD picked up, they really need the tier 1 tower, or they don't have quite enough map control. Well, we'll see what happens here.
Oh, RP
Nice
up
RP.
on 2. That's going to be both OD and Crystal Main dead. Jot him. His borrowed time will pop, but the open wounds is still there. Light of Heaven not going to be able to help his teammate right now. Just going to help to fly away. It's going to be another support down. Nice RP.
Yeah, really nice RP, and I love how with their picks they mitigated the impact of their ping disadvantage by making sure that the Euros are on the like critical
Yeah.
execution heroes and the Americans are on the face roll heroes.
I agree.
I'm just kidding. No,
but
seriously, like it's good.
Like, come with me. I believe he normally plays the number 5 support, right? And this time he's playing the Enigma because I feel like that's the reason why. Just having those black
Yeah.
holes and blinks is perfectly done. And Arise, same story, and the rest is, you know, we don't care.
Sorry, somebody's messaging me crapping on Finding Nemo, which what the hell, man? Jesus.
Finding Nemo. Well,
Who's gonna hate on Finding Nemo?
nobody
It's
should
so
hate
good.
on Finding Nemo. There's just
They're
no
like,
way.
its visual design is blue, and I'm like, yeah, the movie's underwater. Like,
I mean,
what color did you want the water to be?
who hasn't tried to talk whale, right? I have.
Easy Roche for SSD. Good game decisions, honestly. And I like this build for Timbersaw. I feel like when you just lock yourself to Bloodstone, sometimes the other team can really abuse that. But instead we see a couple of players, like Zai here and Arteezy, more often go the Blade Mail first, like pretend you're a Clockwork. And in some cases, especially here with the OD, I think the early Blade Mail is much better than a later Bloodstone.
Yeah, being able to reflect that damage is just insane.
Yeah,
as we have got another duel. I like this use of Ancients. At least VirtusPro is using the Ancients. They're stacking and all that.
I don't think VP are playing that bad. It's just they're just still getting outplayed a little bit by SSD. Especially, I mean, that first blood cost them like more than it might seem because it's set Light of Heaven so far behind. Like, he's still struggling. He only has mech treads. He's level 8. He is tied for the lowest level in this game.
Yeah, that's not good. Not really the impact that you want a Viper to have. I mean, the mechanism is nice and all, and it was up at fairly decent timing, but other than that, I mean... Yeah, no. They need to be able to find some extra use for them. They need to be able to find a way to get more map control, because that's what they're lacking right now, because Viper needs farm, OD needs farm, Drow needs farm. Drow almost has her BKB ready. Actually, I'm quite impressed with the amount of farm that Drow has. I wasn't expecting her to be as rich as she is, but Ancients do help.
Yeah. Early Helm of the Dom let her effectively farm the Ancients, and now with BKB, I mean, the problem is Magnus and Enigma care not for your paltry BKB, but it'll certainly help against Timbersaw. I mean, the Timbersaw, now that he has Blade Mail, Timbersaw already does so much burst damage, and then if you happen to accidentally click him while he does that, it's even more burst damage. Yeah. So the BKB will help against that. I still think that VP are in a more delicate position as far as teamfight. Like, if one ultimate doesn't go their way, suddenly they lose.
No pressure. But yeah, they have SSD has a strong lineup regardless, and if they make their wombo combo work, VirtusPro has got no legs to stand on. And that I don't even mean that with having like 2 flying heroes. I just realized that, but the others do have legs, and actually Abaddon has 4. So that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird situation here. Oh, actually, like that catch up PPD again. He was very deep, trying to block the Ancients because he knows that they've been farming them.
He actually did
but he did block it. But I mean, they can probably just counterward it themselves in a bit once they see that the Ancients won't spawn.
Yeah, I was gonna say they have to notice it first, and perhaps SSD is gonna be able to kill the Observer first to help out.
Yeah, the issue is that it's Ancients, but basically. It's like they have like they're like a single income household of 3 greedy children, right? Like Drow, OD, Viper all need a ton of farm, and the only thing they're farming is Ancients. So that's not enough to sustain 3 farmers.
Bottom tower is under attack.
They're getting Ancients, but they're not getting anything else. Like, they're farming with 3 people on the bottom lane, and 2 of the 3 people want to farm.
Yeah.
Drow Ranger is having his BKB ready though, so that helps.
It does help, but SSD, I still feel like they're just getting a lot more out of the map because of their superior tower push, especially early on. Because they crushed the top lane, and they were able to push in both of those, VP has never felt super safe like farming in this general area, and certainly, even though they got the tier 1 tower, it's completely meaningless. You've never seen, not a single VP person has been in this area of the map. So the tier 1 tower that they picked up is meaningless except for the gold. Whereas SSD has so much map control. At this point, they're, with the tier 1 mid down and the block, they're actually taking away this Ancient from VP, which, as we said, is their only dependable farming spot. So VP are in really, really big trouble. They basically need to have a big team fight to turn it around.
Yeah, we've already got ourselves the gold graph 7,500 in favor of SSD, with the experience graph going 5,000 in their favor. It might not look as much, but as long as VirtusPro doesn't take some kind of map control back, they'll be keeping themselves down by a lot. Maybe they can get the bottom tower, though. If they can take down the tier 1 tower bottom, that will definitely be helping them out, but they might be losing something else elsewhere. Unless SSD is letting it happen. Maybe they deny. Fortification. Teleports. Yeah, that's gonna be denied. That's gonna be Yamaha running for his life. Blink forward, looking for Malefice. Finds it up on the OD. Timbersaw coming in. Zai with the Chakram. Astral Imprisonment still there, but I don't think it matters. Hello, Arise. Hello, RP. BKB up on Dro, but I don't think it matters all that much. That's gonna be Yamaha not making it out alive. The tower is deny range. Ouch.
They probably won't deny it just yet. They'll actually keep it up because they know that there's a decent chance the fortification will actually be up by the next time VP tries to push it. Wow, God, Arise is really growing as a player, I feel. When he was on Kaipi, I felt that he was really nothing special. I mean, he's a great player, of course, but compared to a lot of other mids. But recently, I feel like he's just getting better and better. This is a player who's really getting... Like, that was an excellently paced skewer there.
His movement was just really good. I mean, he came from the right at the right time, from the right angle, got the right score.
And they didn't have to... I thought that they might have to expend the Black Hole there, but they didn't. And it's very important to use RP instead of Black Hole when you can, because its cooldown is half as long.
Yeah. And now they have and a BKB and a Black Hole and a mechanism in case VirtusPro wants to fight this, which... You know, it's quite risky. They do back off once the respawn comes, so but they'll take the last tier 2 here because Snake King's already farming there, and I don't think that VirtusPro can farm this. Ooh, score. Almost gets a Crystal Maiden with him, but no such luck.
Well, it's too bad. They're gonna lose the Aegis in 5 seconds, so they didn't. They got a tier 2. They got 2 more kills. The Drow and OD are like the 2 ideal people to kill, so that was great. But G is pretty close to Scythe of Ice. That could be useful.
Yep. Was also the first BKB charge on the Drow, so that's a 10-second BKB out of the way. But then again, VirtusPro, they don't really want to use it just yet anyways. I guess they just need more before they can go toe-to-toe with SSD, purely for the teamfight potential that SSD has.
Right. Yeah, and now Zai, yep, there's the Bloodstone as well. So this Timber Saw, even with a pretty slow start, is now doing quite well also. On not that many last hits. Like, VP are getting a lot more last hits out of the map than you'd... Arise fishing again. Oh, man, this is a huge kill.
That's gonna be a nice kill. Invisibility rune used for that one. Skewer back into Snake King's hands, and yeah, that's a pretty big deal. At least OD was able to buy himself the Mystic Staff before he died. That's luck for him, but he doesn't have buyback.
Yeah, and they lose tier 2 as well. So tier 2, lose the OD again. And yeah, you have Drow Ranger, but it's got to be the biggest silence of his life to make a huge difference. God, full Abyssal.
Close again. It's just fishing every time.
Yeah. Fishes are pretty random.
There's the Black Hole. Only catches Light of Heaven, but it catches Light of Heaven, and that's a good one to have. Mechanism forced out already. Rubik able to Viper Strike the Crystal Maiden, but she pops her Ghost Scepter. Actually does still quite a bit of damage there with her ultimate, as nobody else dies of SSD, but they are forced back.
Not the perfect Black Hole. I mean, they got Light of Heaven, but it took a lot of energy. It was a good mechanism timing, and he got away. So they had to expend a lot just to get him. And Crystal Maiden, Arsart, really strong play. He forced Abyssal onto himself rather than onto like an important hero, which as Crystal Maiden is, that's a big get.
Yeah. And they smoke instantly. Look for more. I mean, no Aegis up. Roshan is, by the way, taking about 1 minute and 40 seconds before it's up. 30 seconds by now. It looks like the smoke, they didn't really use it to great advantage. They will... Everybody knows that there's wards here, though, I think.
Yeah, they can't pursue this any further. Looks like it's about a minute and a half until Roshan, and it's gonna be pretty tough for VP to take Rosh, I feel, because by that time we should have the next... Well, we might not have the next Black Hole, but certainly RP will be available.
Yeah, and that's gonna be one of the things that is very handy to have if you're wanting to be fighting in the Roshan pit, that small radius of fighting space. With a... which player leads All-Pro... on a bad day? I don't know.
I'm not qualified to answer this because I can never remember which teams are actually in this season.
I don't know when Abaddon has actually been picked.
Oh, well, he was picked a lot in last season of StarLadder. He was one of the most popular early picks. So whatever the answer is, it's somebody that's in this season and played last season as a support.
Nope.
But I don't know which teams are in. Is Menace in this season? They aren't, right? They got kicked out?
Yeah.
Okay, because they played a lot of Abaddon.
I think Poseidon or something like that.
Are Sigma Int in this season of StarLadder?
Yes. I think. Yes.
Oh, they are?
Are they?
I haven't... You tell me?
Let me check. Yes, they are. They just haven't played a game just yet.
Okay. Well, they definitely play a lot of Abaddon.
Cool. I had to actually... I did change the overlay for that one.
Shadowblade for Magnus? Alright. Okay. Oh, I like this. This is legit. This is actually secret good. I really thought I was going to go for Refresher, but... I mean, they have Blink Enigma, so they don't really need, like, 3 ults is almost overkill, just because you already have Black Hole, so you already have 2 ults. Yeah. So the Shadow Blade just gives you perfect initiation positioning, and it forces out, again, like, they didn't have any stealthers, and now VP has to be scared of a stealthed Magnus coming at them.
Yeah, and it makes it, like, the support's kind of extra poor, if you will.
Yeah, it's wacky, but it's wacky in a good way. I feel bad, I really feel bad. Like, Light of Heaven, look at his net worth. Like, he's barely beating Rubik. And part of that is the composition, and part of that is the First Blood. And, like, you don't have room. There's not enough room for the Viper.
Yeah, and then the lack of towers, they don't really have... Like, the only thing they can do is split push, perhaps, but they don't have the map control to actually have heroes to split push with, because, you know, they just never got that advantage in the mid-game, because they don't have heroes for the mid-game, apart from the Viper, who got shut down early on. So they don't really have any way of getting that extra tower gold that they really need to get their core items up. And it looks like SSD doesn't want to give them a chance to still finish up that bottom tier 1 either, because they're just moving bottom. Arise already in his Shadow Blade. He did show himself, though, and the pink does come out. Snaking, having an Aegis, feeling kind of ballsy here. I'm not talking
little late on the skewer. The nice thing is, if he does like blink in and they have good drow timing, they can just silence him immediately and avoid and actually kill the Magnus. So they got to be kind of careful about that. Like with really clever timing, VP can stuff a push like that.
I'm quite surprised that Aban doesn't place one of his. Never mind, he just did. One of his sentry wards. I was about to say.
Oh, we're up to that, are we? RSRS gaming from Arise here.
The chance that it fails is always there.
Yep, that's what we always watch for, right?
Yep.
Just so we can lol. We've already had our Woe Dota moment for the day, though. With
that's true, that Mirana leap.
Yeah, I lost it. I apologize for that. I just couldn't control myself.
Yeah, but it was like really awkward. Like
it was amazing.
You don't normally see that.
It
see that
was
in
amazing.
pubs, but
yeah,
you know, we're watching competitive Dota after all. Oh, open wounds up on the Aban. He still has borrowed time, but you know, so they can just make sure they uses it well. That was a Rubik dead. OD coming in from the side. Draw as well. The Timber Chain doesn't get him away. Zai will drop. That's going to be Black Hole still with 2, though. Arslan Light of Heaven still alive. The Mechanism, the the OD.
Good fight from VP.
Yeah.
Really good fight.
Aegis burned. Silenced. Stunned. Slowed.
Sneaking
Live Sealer dead. TP out from Enigma. He won't make it out either. That's 4 dead. Oh my god, that Enigma coming in from the side. That is all that they needed to do. Black Hole RP all used.
VP were very smart there. Even though they were defending high ground, they knew that because SSD are so good in confined spaces, VP were like, yes, high ground is an advantage, but we're going to gain so much more by putting just half our team on low ground and ensuring that there's no way that they can chain ultimates onto us. So, and Drow had a couple good silences, but it wasn't even the silence, it was literally just positioning. G drew away so much of the attention of the Magnus that Lifestealer was just like, they RP'd, but all they got was, they Black Hole, but all they got was Viper and Crystal Maiden. And as we've already said, the Viper is just a walking mechanism. So that was just really, really excellent play from VP, and now there's no Black Hole for another 115 seconds. That was exactly what VP needed to get a lifeline in this game.
I agree. They got a tower with that extra gold, forcing SSD on the back foot, and maybe they are able to... No, they are not. Like, I was gonna think maybe they can profit from SSD trying something and still outnumbering them and still taking a fight, but SSD playing them being on the backhand for a bit, playing it very good, just not forcing out anything, waiting until everybody's back up. And only
I mean, they did get the tier 3 tower.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like, that's not a lot for how much they lost. So they're still ahead. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, VP needs a couple more fights like that to actually be able to, like, Rax or something.
Yeah, Viper took 2 towers in that period of time, by the way. Because they also weren't able to deny that tier 1 bottom then. So 3 towers dead in that time. Oh, solo RP up on G, Skewer down to the Timbersaw. Malfist comes out. That's going to be OD dead. Well, they really
He's going to buy
back
if he has to.
Yeah, he needs to. We have got ourselves a Titanic up on the Drow.
Drow is because she has her level 3 ultimate, she's going to be quite strong for a while. They gotta be careful about this. I don't think they can take this fight.
Timbersaw first aggressively up the high ground, not by himself. That was, I believe, an aggressive force staff coming up. Yeah.
That was JOTM. Amazing force staff.
That was awesome.
Again, the silence from Drow is what made that happen.
Yeah, it was a suicide nonetheless with his Bloodstone, but a dead Timbersaw is a dead Timbersaw.
Still. And he's down to what, four Bloodstone charges now?
Yep. That was huge.
So, Bloodstone charges are an underappreciated part of the game. Like, if you can suicide yourself in the middle of a big team fight, like, do you remember that DK, Ice Timbersaw suicide that saved Burning by healing him for like 1,000?
Yes.
Like, it can really turn a fight. Like, nobody talks about that aspect of the item.
Yeah.
What's up?
When he was playing the Weaver, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then LD's just like, what? Just healed him?
Yeah. It looks so weird as well because the camera wasn't on there, so you didn't really notice it just in time. It has such a long range as well. So, suicide. Well, VirtusPro
so
with
who
that.
Was the, what was the chat trivia answer? I missed it.
Vanscore.
Vanscore. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and actually, Infinite Devastation was having it right. Alright, there you go. There's a shout out.
Cool.
Shout out again.
Good for him.
2 minutes later. There you go.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. But...
No. Empire Vanscore.
Yep.
Has been the abandoned player. Most successful. But yeah,
Empire were really hot at the beginning of last season. I feel
they were, and they were really hot at the end as well. I think.
Yeah, no, they're a good team. They did lose to next KZ, and that was an odd game, but we'll see. That's funny.
You can steal the aura.
Well, it has an active, so
that's true.
You can't steal marksmanship, but you can steal precision. The precision is actually interesting now because it does give you the ability to split push without even being there.
Yeah.
So that's something. That's going to make it a little more difficult for SSD to actually high ground because there's a split push threat that... Like, Drow can sit in base, and as long as they've pushed the lane enough to have like a couple siege creeps and a couple range creeps, it's going to push.
Yeah, look how close together SSD is all the time. They're actually quite worried, it seems. I mean,
Snaking has not gotten that much done since the beginning. I mean, now he's going MKB, it looks like, so that'll help, but... I don't know. I feel like VP have stabilized quite a bit, and that Drow is just so scary with that silence. I mean, if it lands at the right time on the right person, especially Timbersaw, this is probably a BKB Timbersaw game. In fact, it's probably BKB on everybody game. Like, Magnus probably needs one.
True. I kind of do feel like... I mean, you were looking at the goals graph, VirtusPro definitely have made a comeback, but... As you can see right now, is when nothing really is going on in terms of people fighting each other, their SSD can make more use of the map and get more farm overall than VirtusPro, and it shows clearly.
Yeah, if VP have to move as 5 wherever they go, and again, like that means one person out of that 5 is farming, really.
Yep.
Or the equivalent of one person.
I mean, they have to share the experience, which is
yep.
starting to maybe hurt them a bit because we're reaching that point where 3 heroes.
It hurts Viper.
Yeah. 3 heroes of VirtusPro are still below level 16. Well, there's only one that's below level 16 on the set of SSD, and of course I'm talking about the ultimates that they need to be having at level 3.
I agree. I mean, the big problem is Viper is a push Viper Strike every 12 minutes, every 12 seconds, and that is it. That is your purpose in life other than mechanism. And actually having Viper Strike at rank 2 rather than rank 3 is a big deal because the difference in slow is very substantive. Like, Viper Strike rank 3 basically disables Lifestealer for the duration. Rank 2, he can still fight, especially if he lands in Abyssal.
Yeah, we have a smoke up for everybody. Oh! Wrong button, come with me. Wrong button. The ping comes out, they saw that. They saw that. That was a 8-second BKB. Come with me, pressed his W instead of whatever button he has for his Midas. For his BKB, rather. Oh, actually, no, he just switched it around. I guess he wants to use his Midas rather than his BKB.
Well, it's still on cooldown.
Yeah, so it's kind of awkward, but you know.
Yep, not great, but they're really hard to punish because of the blinks, and Lifestealer, of course, can get out no matter what. Like every single person on SSD has a repositioning item or ability. Force Staff on Rubik and Magnus, Blink on Magnus and Enigma, Shadow Blade on Magnus, and Lifestealer can just hop in, and Timbersaw can chain.
Yeah. And that's going to be Roshan. I think SSD should be able to take this just without contest. I mean, even if VirtusPro was close by, you just can't fight when there's an RP and a black hole around the corner in a Roche pit. So.
Roshan has fallen.
There's the cheese is on whom? Magnus? Okay.
Magnus. Yep.
Yeah, okay. I would have liked to see one of those 2 items on the Timbersaw, I feel.
Timbersaw with his 4 points.
Exactly, like he's not gonna have that instantaneous respawn travels. so I think cheese on him or something would have been nice, but
because
he doesn't have BKB either. So if he eats a silence, it's unhappy days. He's starting to make that BKB. He just got Ogre Club. Yeah. Well, actually, I wonder if the Ogre Club is for a Halberd. If he doesn't care about surviving and just wants to get his spells off, Halberd, every single damage dealer on VP, 4 of their 5 heroes are ranged, which is Halberd fodder.
Yeah, Halberd up against the Viper or up against the OD, or against the Drow even better. But yeah, that would be very
It's great
nice.
against all of them. Not Viper, because you're not scared of Viper's auto attacks in this game,
No,
but on
no,
OD or Drow. Yeah.
But Drow is
OD
starting
with
to get
the
scary.
Yeah. What? OD with the Lincolns, I guess, this game. Looks good.
Yep. Good workout.
It's not gonna be Scotty.
You sure?
Wouldn't that be great, though? Whoa, 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 whoa. What are they doing?
Whoa.
Okay.
Scary
That would've been really
plays
scary.
coming up from Come With Me.
Yeah, seriously.
Teleporting into VirtusPro. Well, VirtusPro...
You know what would have been funny? If Arsart casts Freezing Field and it clips Come With Me before he can blink.
That would actually be working out.
The timing's really delicate.
It's true.
And if it doesn't work, grats on wasting your Freezing Field and looking like a moron, right? Like, it's very risky.
I guess he can do that against Come With Me, though, who already wasted his BKB, so... I don't know, he already made a fool of himself, so he can make it even. Looks like Timbersaw does have
Is that how that
his
works?
eyes on a BKB, by the way. Yeah, it does work like that. If someone else makes a fool of himself, then you can do too. Because,
Fair enough.
it's an even ground. It actually makes the guy that made a fool out of himself first feel better. Because,
Fair enough.
he's not the only one anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the BKB from Zai makes sense. I mean, it'll at least allow him to... The silence is really the main thing that they have to avoid.
Yeah, I guess at the moment for VirtusPro, they do the right thing at, playing passive and all that, but if SSD keep this on for another 10 minutes or so, they're gonna be so far ahead that VirtusPro can't even defend their own base anymore, and VirtusPro kind of needs SSD to initiate, because otherwise
we'll see.
Yeah, they smoke up, so maybe they're gonna try something themselves. I'm not sure if they can find anybody though. They don't have any vision, so they're walking around blindly, perhaps a Rise, but he can blink away, he can force staff. There you go.
Nice blink. It's an interesting situation, because even though SSD are massively ahead on net worth, very late game, it's actually harder. It becomes a little harder to stand against an OD when your BKB timings go down, and he can get Refresher. It won't come for a while, but if VirtusPro keep holding on, OD is a pretty big threat. Drow, if she's able to kite effectively, is a big threat. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see how the BKBs keep working out for SSD.
Yeah, and especially since there's not many heroes in SSD that are actually... Like, there's only one intellect hero, so... OD will be having a big impact if he indeed does manage to find himself a Refresher Orb, which is still very far away. He's sitting on 3,900 gold, though. So he's pretty happy with that one.
Yeah.
That was not true. He's sitting on 3,300 gold because Come With Me is the one who's sitting on 4k gold. Wow, this is a very rich Enigma.
Yeah, he is tied with net worth for the highest. I mean, fast Midas, lots of kills.
Yeah. Working out. 4,600 gold upon Snaking, though he wins in the battle.
He's the highest level.
Current gold.
Yeah, very important battle. Yeah, Come With Me. I mean, he's level 20, but the thing is, levels like 18 through 25 for Enigma are like, okay, it's more health.
Yeah. And we're still looking at the same story, like 3 heroes of VirtusPro are still not level 16, including that Viper, who I really am thinking should have gotten a Hand of Midas.
Yeah, maybe. It would have definitely helped at least his level situation, because he's still stuck down at level 13.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Light of Heaven has sort of resigned himself to being a walking Viper Strike machine, and that might be okay, because they do have 2 alternate damage sources, whereas SSD...
Wow,
RP.
Rise finds himself G, skewers him to the high ground, Telekinesis there as well. That's gonna be one dead, and Abyssal. OD.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, his team tried to come in for help, but forced staff away. Astral Prism is stolen by PPD, gets it up on the OD, up on the
JOTM's dead.
Wow, his Burrow 10 was already
No
popped.
buyback.
Crystal Maiden hexed
That's-
up, still taking a lot of damage as well, but the hex comes instantly up on the Nick as well. Light of Heaven, careful there. Don't want to overextend.
they have
OD
to-
bot back, Abaddon not so lucky, can't do that. It's not rich enough.
Yeah, I think this VP is really going to have a tough time. Abaddon is really critical to these defenses. It's going to have to be a huge silence. I think they lose this Rex.
Yeah, there's still fortification if they want to try that. Blink forward, Black Hole catches 2. Both Drow and Light of Heaven. Astral Imprisonment up on 1, BKB up on the other. Yamaha runs away from everybody to try and go for the silence. Gets the silence up on 2. Now looks for the target. Looks for snaking. Snaking. Gets forced up into safety. Still really wants to get the Rex. Aegis gets dropped though, and that's going to be Drow taking quite a bit of damage from this
She's dead.
Timber Saw. Indeed, no BKB, no life. Buyback there though. G, not so lucky, cannot buy back anymore, already did that. Looks like SSD is backing off. They got what they came for, they got the melee racks, and they don't want to lose anything else.
It's not just the melee racks, they forced out 2 buybacks from the 2 important heroes, the OD and the Drow. They can keep going in my opinion.
Yeah, they are. Ranged racks dead as well.
With no OD.
From Heaven.
Yeah. I think they can probably take a second set. This might actually be the game. I don't know.
40 seconds without the Viper, 50 seconds, 1 minute without the OD still, and they have got the Drow, of course, but well.
Enigma has Watermelon. He doesn't even have room in his inventory for it. He has to ditch the Midas eventually.
Yep, he will do that.
This is insane. Come With Me has had a hell of a game.
He has. He really has. And there goes. Yeah, BKB doesn't help for that one, Drow Ranger. RP up on a solo Crystal Maiden. It is over for sure. The Hex up on the Abaddon. Still has borrowed time, and actually Arsart is able to run away from that one. Oh, hello.
Kinda.
Yeah. Still, of course, the Abaddon dies. Crystal Maiden, last one surviving for her team. Looks like we are gonna see the tier 4s being under attack, though. An SSD, with their 3rd game here in the Star Series.
He ditched the mech. He sold the mech. This greedy Come With Me. Keeps the Midas, sells the mech. That's amazing.
Still wants to be highest on net worth. Doesn't work though. Maybe highest on gold per minute. Is that true? No.
He's a little bit behind, and according to Nahas, he's gonna end up like 20 GPM behind the highest GPM on Enigma ever in Dota 2.
Okay, that's pretty.
But he's second, like a close second.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be another turn back.
They won't attack the Ancient. They just want kills.
They just want kills. Well, VirtusPro, this was their 3rd game in the Star Series Season 8. They lose it. SSD win their 2nd game of 3 games that they've played so far. So, congratulations to them. Now, we are going to jump ourselves to the 5th game of the day, because the 4th one was played at the same time as this one, which was Power Rangers versus 4FC. So, unfortunately, we will not be able to cast that one. However, we will be able to see the next game, which is going to be Mousesports versus Aspera? No, that's not true. Awkward.
Fnatic Aspera.
Aspera still, but up against Fnatic. So that will be the first game that Fnatic plays in this season. So interesting to see that one, especially since their performance on Saturday and Friday.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's jump ourselves to that game. Stick around. We'll be actually, I was going to say we'll be right back, but we might actually have to wait for about 20 minutes for the game to start, as that will be our official starting time of the game. But it all depends on if the teams and the casters are ready beforehand. So we'll be right back.